It's about 1,000,000 times better because there's 6 of us on the road and it's heaps of fun. I don't know, it's funny because it actually feels like an like a mission, whereas when I'm touring by myself it's like just day and then day and then day and then day and then day. Whereas this is like I remember everything kind of, and because there's other people there and you take things in more, I guess. And kind of everything develops as well, whereas when you're touring by yourself, I always develop my show, but having other people to feed off each show, that develops, and then, you know, I don't know. Yeah, I prefer it way more. It's a lot harder of a mission, a lot more energy and effort beforehand and when you're touring, so it's not going to happen nearly as much, I don't think. But yeah, everything's either triggered off samples or I play it off my drum machine. I load all the bits and pieces, like little quarter bar loops into there. The iPad is like a bunch of synths that I make in this Moog. It's a Moog synthesizer, and run it out of that. It's really cool because you can have, like, you know, it's almost like a fretless bass but a fretless keyboard, so you've got like all the moving around and you really just kind of find the spot in there. Yeah, and then you make electro like that. So I don't know, I'm always looking for new ways to do things because I get bored super fast on stage if I'm not doing anything. There's the bit in between of, like, you know how a really good DJ can watch the crowd and play the exact right song in the right moment and really get that moment going. But so for me it's kind of harder because I'm playing all my own music and doing it on the spot, but at least I can continually do something if it's working. You know, if I'm playing something live and people can see that and they're really digging it, I can take it somewhere else, you know, and boost through that, which is, I think, important. The first song I wrote was 100. I used to write breaks and electro and kind of a little bit of drum bass very early on, and the 100 was, a friend asked me to do a remix of a real deep, sloppy kind of hip-hoppy song, and I sort of played around and did it, and it wasn't that well produced, but it was kind of like, I was just like, holy shit, there's so much space in the music, you know. And it was, you know, that was, I don't know how long ago that was, maybe 5 years ago or something. And yeah, and then started doing it, but I was kind of real nervous to play that music to people because I hadn't heard anything like it, and every time I played a set of breaks or whatever, I'd start with one or two of those songs to see what would happen, and people were like on the dance floor instantly. But each time I do it, it was still like, yeah, I was worried. Was it going to work or not? Yeah, I guess I listen to like jazz and funk and folk and hip hop, and the earlier sort of hip hop doesn't have any electronic noises in it, you know, and that's kind of where I started thinking about doing what I do. I don't even know, because I get asked that question all the time, but my music collection is what it is, and I just go in and out of different things. I never really took what I was listening to, I don't think, and put it into what I was doing at the time, because I was kind of like just playing with random things and didn't actually think, oh, that sounds cool, I'm going to try and do that. Super early on, the first person I heard that was doing that stuff was someone like Bass Nectar. And so, like, he was, earlier in the days, was much more organic than what he does now, I feel. You know, he's sort of, well, a bit more simple and a bit more underground or something, you know, I don't know what it was. And, but yeah, and like Tipper as well, like way back in the day, I remember walking onto a dance floor and just having my mind blown years ago by that, but never really took it on to do it. It wasn't never really like, oh, I'm going to try and write that music or anything. And lots of my friends around me are super dope musicians, so kind of jamming out. I used to be in bands as well, and that kind of influenced it all. Yeah, man, my first musical experiences were like when I was like 2, you know, like my parents were like pretty loose and these parties going on, they'd have bands playing in their house and whatever, and I'd just always be the one, you know, the little kid at the drum kit or whatever, banging away, and then sort of play with bands. And I started first producing music. I used my parents' computer. They had that, it's not SoundForge, whatever the one was, where it pops up in little sound clips, you know, back in the day, it would just play that one sound clip. And I either recorded these little sounds with the computer mic, or I got all these little samples that were in the computer and then had to click play on each one of them at a different time while it recorded through a tape player to like get it all in time and make some tune, and then I'd go back and click that one. I had to like write down which colour thing was which one. I've still got that piece of paper. It was like the thing, my mum sent it to me. It was kind of like that old day of like chopping actually tape up or something, you know, and doing it. But yeah, that was, I don't know, that was probably like, fuck, 14 years ago or something maybe. But yeah, I had never took it seriously. Well, not seriously, I still don't take it that seriously. I take it serious enough to do it all the time, but I don't think I actually wrote and finish songs until maybe like 5 years ago. It was when I first started really finishing music. Yeah. It's a lot smaller than anywhere else, but I think there's a lot of people wanting to do it rather like there's a lot of people that go watch it, but much less kind of a scene. But there's lots of people sort of doing it. They're kind of getting in there and going, well, and I can give it a go as well. Which I don't know. There's this whole like range of music about to kind of break through. I think everyone's just starting to peak out. People are going, well, who's that? Who's that? When you play a show, people support you, and it's like, fuck, I didn't even know you existed. And they're awesome. And New Zealanders have got like a roots reggae dub background, no matter where you come from, really, and it's like part of the Māori culture, and so that bass heavy music, the slower stuff, is in everyone in some way. I think, yeah, they can appreciate it and they find it easier to make it or something, I don't know, but they got the groove, I guess. Yeah. Every time I have an interview or something, even like on like the Beatport chart, I was like top of the chart for like, it was like last year, and Beatport sent me an email saying they had a ridiculous amount of emails of New Zealanders saying he's not Australian, because they'd listed in my bio that I was Australian, and people had gone on there and like emailed Beatport saying, what are you fucking doing, he's not Australian, and got all wound up. Yeah, it was funny. I'm always going to be from New Zealand. I'll never say I'm an Australian. I live in Australia and my career was built here, so I don't really, I'm not Australian. I live here and I'm from, I don't know, whatever. People, you can do whatever you want actually. You can say I'm from Ethiopia. In the next 4 months, I've got a schedule of who I'm doing shit with, but I don't want to talk about it until we actually do it, because like we're all like planning these 2-week gaps where we go and do it, and you put it out there, and it's good. It's always good to put it out there because then it happens. But that's how you start it happening. But then I think before you do it, it's better not to have £1 million of pressure on you to get it done without actually being there already, Yeah, but no, like totally, some of my favourite artists in like bass music scene for sure. I got signed to a booking agency in Europe, and so their thing was let's get some stuff going on. I was like, sweet, and that's all it took, someone to say let's do it, and so I went and hit them up, and everyone was super. It's funny because for me, I don't know who knows my music or any of that, and the scene can be completely open, and who's around and everything like that, but you don't actually know who's there and who's like, oh yeah, cool, let's do something. So as soon as you put it out there, and then it's like, fuck, okay, cool, people are into it, or they've been fans for ages, or just heard about it, or whatever, and nearly 100% of the time they're like, yeah, let's do it for sure. What is the haps? I'm not sure, I'm asking you. I'm Opiuo and I'm in Perth playing for the Operatives and Grizzled.